You know what is wild to me? I talk to corporate professionals every single day who make $60,000, $80,000, $100,000, $120,000 per year, some even $150,000, $200,000 per year working for someone else. But when I ask them what they would charge for their own offer, they say something like maybe $47 or maybe $297. And I'm sitting there thinking, you are literally getting paid six figures to show up to someone else's office, but you think your expertise is only worth $47? That's insane. So today I'm going to break down exactly how a $2,000 offer works and why it's actually easier to sell it than a $47 offer. And why, if you're a corporate professional trying to monetize your skills, this might be the most important 10 minutes you'll watch all your year. I guarantee you. So stay with me, because by the end of this video, you are going to see money completely different. So let's go into it. But before I dive into it, let me tell you something that might sound backwards a bit. See, the reason most professionals struggle to sell their services has nothing to do with their expertise, nothing to do with their experience, definitely nothing to do with their credentials. You know what it is? Are you interested in knowing? This is the one thing. They are trying to sell to the wrong person at the wrong price for the wrong reason. Let me explain. But think about it this way. And I love so much this analogy because it is so visual. You can see it. So you remember in The Lion King when Mustafa takes Simba to the top of the Pride Rock and says, everything the light touches is our kingdom. Well, most corporate professionals are trying to sell to everyone the light touches. And that's the problem, because when you sell to everyone, you're actually selling to no one. And when you don't know who you are selling to, you definitely don't know what to charge. I don't know if you're tracking this. Are you tracking? So here's what I discovered after working with hundreds of professionals, after watching people go from I don't know what to charge to confidently closing $2,000, $5,000, even $10,000 offers. The problem isn't your offer. The problem is you are thinking about price all wrong. You are thinking, what can I charge that won't scare people away? That's what you're thinking. But here's what your clients are actually thinking. Will this solve my problem? Big difference. Let me break this down to even further, because this is where it gets really interesting. When you price something at $47, you know what you're actually saying to the market? You are saying this is an impulse purchase, that you don't think about it. It's like buying coffee at a cafe. And that is fine if you are selling something that has impulse purchase value. But that is not you as a corporate professional. You are a professional. You've spent 10, 15, maybe 20 years developing an expertise. You have made mistakes. You've learned lessons. You've got battle scars. That's not impulse purchase value. That's transformational value. And transformational value, it starts at $2,000 minimum. Because here's the wild part, and I want you to really, really hear this. A person who pays you $2,000 is easier to work with than a person who pays you $47. Now, why is that? Because the person who invests $2,000 is actually invested in the transformation. They show up, they do the work, they get results. And then they tell others about it. The person who pays $47, they might not even open the PDF you sent them. I'm just keeping it real with you. So when you're creating an offer, specifically when you're creating, say, $2,000 offer, you are not just slapping price on your time. That's not what you're doing. You are creating a container for transformation. And that changes everything. It changes everything. Let me give you a real example. Because I think this will make it crystal clear. I was working with this woman, 18 years of financial experience, works with international NGOs, manages multi-million-dollar budget, sits in boardrooms with executives, super competent, super credible, making good money in her career. Oh, very powerful woman. But she comes to me and says, Richard, I want to start my, side income. I want to help non-profits with their financial reporting because I see them struggling all the time. I said, okay, great. What's your offer? She says, well, I was thinking maybe $97, some mini course on financial best practices. And I literally laughed. Not at her, but at how we've been conditioned to undersell ourselves. I said, look, you manage millions of dollars for organizations. You make their board meetings run smoothly. You help them stay compliant with international donors. And you think that expertise is worth $97? She paused. And then she said something beautiful. I guess I never thought about it that way. So what did we do? We created something called the Financial Reporting Clarity Insight Program. It's not a course. It's not a program. It's not a product. It's a transformation. And so instead of trying to sell transformation for $97, she now sells a deep diagnostic experience for over $2,000, where she helps nonprofit leaders identify exactly what's blocking their clean, accurate, board-ready reporting. And you know what happened? Oh yeah, she's having conversation with clients. Not because she got better at sales, not because she ran Facebook ads, but because we positioned her correctly and priced her appropriately. The person who needs this woman's help doesn't have a $97 problem. They have maybe a $5,000 problem. Actually, they probably have like $10,000, $20,000 problem. But I told her, okay, let's start with maybe $3,000. And here is the really beautiful part. Here is the beautiful part. When you charge, say, $3,000, you're actually doing your client a favor. Oh yeah, you're doing your client a favor because you're forcing them to take it seriously. You're creating accountability. You are saying, I am not here to entertain you. I am here to transform you. And the people who are ready, they say yes immediately. The ones who are not ready will not say, and don't mind about them. At this point, let's really talk about what goes into a $2,000 offer, because you might be thinking, okay, Richard, I hear you. I get the psychology, but what do I actually deliver for $2,000 offer? Which is a great question, and this is where my two offer builder comes in. So in phase one, this is what I call your clarity phase. This is where you help your client get crystal clear on their current situation, their desired outcome, and the exact path between the two. For most professions, this looks like a comprehensive assessment or an audit, a strategic roadmap or blueprint, and then custom recommendations based on their specific situation. And this phase alone is worth a minimum of $2,000 because you are giving them something they can't Google. You are giving them personalized insight based on your expertise and then their context. But here's where it gets really good. Phase two is what I call the implementation phase. So this is where you help them actually execute the plan. And this is what makes your offer irresistible, because you're not just telling them what to do, you are showing them how to do it. So for a $2,000 offer, this might include weekly check-ins or progress reviews, templates and tools they can use immediately, direct access to you for questions and troubleshooting, a specific time-bound container, usually maybe 4 to 6 weeks. So now here's the magic. When you structure your offer the right way, you are not selling coaching. You are not selling consulting. You're not even selling your time. You are selling a predictable pathway from where they are to where they want to be. And that's what people pay for all the time. Not your time, not your expertise, not your personality, not your precision, not your story, but your system. So see, your corporate client doesn't want to be inspired. They are already motivated. They want to know, if I give you $2,000 and 6 weeks of my attention, what exactly will I have at the end? And when you answer that clearly, you will have a fully designed offer that's ready to launch. Or you'll have a financial reporting system that passes every audit, or you'll have a leadership framework that you can implement immediately. That's when they will buy. So it's that simple. It's that simple. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Richard, that sounds great, but I am not really an expert yet. Or I don't have testimonials. Or what if no one buys? Let me address this head on because I hear them every single day. First, this idea of what if I'm not an expert yet? You don't need to be the world leading authority. You just need to be 10 steps ahead of the person that you're helping. If you've been in the corporate for 8 years, you are an expert to someone who has been there for 2 years. If you've solved a problem in your career, you can help someone else with the same problem. So stop waiting for permission. You already have the credibility. The second thing is, oh, I don't have testimonials. Then create your first result. Offer your program to 3 to 5 people at a discounted rate, maybe $1,000 instead of $2,000 in exchange for a case study and testimonial. So those first few clients aren't just revenue, they are proof. And once you have proof, everything else becomes easier. The third thing is, what if no one buys? Then you haven't talked to enough people yet. Because here's what I know for sure. There are right now hundreds, maybe thousands of people out there right now searching for exactly what you offer. They are typing into Google at 11:30 p.m. on a Tuesday night, frustrated, stuck, anxious. So your job isn't to convince them they need help. Your job is to be findable when they are looking. So put out content, show up consistently, serve your audience, and I promise you, when you make yourself findable, the right people will find you. So let me zoom out for a second and show you why this matters beyond just making money. When I started my journey back in 2013, I attended this business breakfast that costed me $100, which was a lot for a university student in Uganda at that time. But that event changed my life because I saw who I could become. I saw that I wasn't called to just work a job, I was called to transform lives. And you know what I learned in this decade since? The world doesn't need more employees. The world needs awakened leaders. It needs professionals like you who are willing to step out of the herd to roar instead of bleed, to own your expertise instead of hiding behind someone else's brand. And that's what a $2,000 offer presents. It's not just a price point, it's a declaration. It's you saying, my knowledge has value, my experience matters, I am not underselling myself anymore. And when you step into that identity, when you move from sheep mentality to a lion mentality, everything changes. You don't compete anymore. You begin to dominate in your domain. This is my prayer for you. So you don't even work harder, you work smarter because you finally understand. You're not selling your time, you are monetizing your mind. So what I want you to do right now, if you're a corporate professional and you've been thinking of late about turning your job into a profitable offer, but you don't know where to start, I want you to drop a comment and tell me, what's the one skill that you have that people are always asking you for advice on? Just one skill, that's it. Because that one skill might be a $5,000 offer waiting to happen. And if you want to go deeper, if you're really serious about building your offer using my two-phase offer builder, I'll put a link in the description to my live Tuesday workshop where I walk you through the exact process step by step. No flap, no theory, just practical framework that has helped hundreds of professionals go from I don't know what to charge to confidently closing high ticket offers. Remember, you already have everything you need. The only question is, are you ready to step into it? So I'll see you in the next video, and until then, stop being a sheep. It's time to roar. It's time to be a lion. So subscribe if you have not yet, and then hit that like button and let us roar together.